let's turn the page and talk about the elephant in the room. Now, a lot of people are saying Ryan Day's not going anywhere. And that might be true in the sense that he's not, I don't think that Ross Bjork is going to fire him. As you recall, a year ago, maybe a little over a year, when Gene Smith announced he was going to retire, do you remember me telling you, Chris, he just bought Ryan Day an additional year?
Yeah, I do.
Because, hear me out, because an incoming AD was not going to fire Ryan Day in the first year, no matter what. Um, Let me read this real fast. I got to read this. This is from Aaron Nolan's dad, Prentice. I'm confused because in practice, my son said we would be attacking the team up north downfield. It seems like everything changed. That secondary couldn't guard our wide receivers. That's exactly what I heard.
Absolutely.
And we did none of that.
Ryan Day lost this team as well as the crowd. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah. Um, and then let's get let me get back to where we were at. Was the comment before Ryan's there? I wanted to read to get us back on track. From ANDH. I think it's more likely Ryan Day resigns than gets fired. Okay. And some of you might have already watched the video, but earlier today, Cory's co-host from Scarlet and Great, Johnny, and I got together to just hash some things out as fans and read some fan comments. And in that conversation, we talked about what Cory and I on this podcast, Chris, I think you were a part of this conversation, if I recall correctly, too. What we saw happen in Chicago a few weeks ago with Ryan Day, and we talked about Ryan Day's health. We noticed him on the sidelines physically shaking. And we're like, dude, it's not even that cold. Why are you physically shaking? And we thought, well, maybe there's something going on with his health. I don't know. And then this week, that interview with Dom Taberry, where he just pours his heart out about how difficult it has been for him and his family. Now, reading between the lines in that, I think that you can go two different directions. One is the wear it's been on him mentally and emotionally. And I think you can also say there's some scumbags in this fan base who probably make living in Columbus, Ohio, when you lose to that team very difficult for your family. Right? There's some real idiots out
Oh
there.
yeah.
Okay. That being said, I don't know what he was, which way, maybe both. Maybe he meant it both ways. I don't know. But I would not be shocked if Ryan Day sits down with his wife and they say it's better for us to step down. I wouldn't be shocked by that. Now, the competitor inside of him that I think he has, um, probably doesn't want to do that. But I don't know about you all, but I saw a guy standing on the sideline after that game when a melee's taking place on the 50-yard line, and the only thing I could say was he looked dazed and confused. He looked like he didn't know what was going on. That being said, that led me to make this poll. And the poll was very simple. It was a Fire Ryan Day poll. I said, I don't want your comments, although some people couldn't help themselves. I just wanted very simple. You had three options: fire Ryan Day now, fire Ryan Day after the college football playoff, meaning give him a chance in the CFP. Don't fire Ryan Day. And the results are very interesting. The top one you see here, oh, sorry, let me transition this slide for you. The top one you see here is from Facebook. This is from our Facebook page, where we had 176 votes in less than 6 hours, I think it was. And then we have Twitter right below that had 278 votes. Again, your options were fire Ryan Day now, fire Ryan Day after the college football playoff, don't fire Ryan Day. It's that simple. Interesting, Facebook was 30% fire Ryan Day now, 48% it looks like fire Ryan Day after the CFP, and 22% that said do not fire Ryan Day. Which the average age of someone on Facebook who's on our Facebook page is usually anywhere from about late 30s upwards. Okay, Twitter you have usually late 30s younger is usually the age demographic here. Twitter was very interesting. Twitter's numbers are 32.4% to fire him now, 35.3% to fire him after the college football playoff, 32.4% that says don't fire Ryan Day now. Now, here's the distinction between these two that I have come to, and I'm interested to see if you guys came to that same conclusion. Those who lived through the 90s and John Cooper, those who didn't, down here in the Twitter poll. I think that's the distinction you can make.
Eric, I think we also get a lot more Michigan trolls on the Twitter poll as well.
Maybe, but I would say I would make the argument that Facebook might be more, just on what I see, on in what I
Based on what
read.
comes into my feed, I'll tell you it's a lot more with Twitter. For me,
Yeah.
anyhow.
Well, you also have a minion as your as your emoji guy or whatever. I think you're just welcoming it. Of course I do. I have a Ohio State OHI podcast logo on mine. It kind of attracts them as well. Cory, you're up first. If we fire Ryan Day, give me a plan. If you were saying, hey, you got the opportunity to talk to Ross Bjork. All right, here's how I want to put this.
And he's going to listen to me?
Yep, you have the opportunity to sit down to Ross Bjork and offer him a bit of advice about Ryan Day and what he should do as athletic director about the head coaching position at Ohio State. He's going to listen to your pitch. Go.
Well, initially I wanted Day gone immediately, and I still want him gone. If he wins a national title, you can't get rid of him. Obviously, even though I won't have any faith in him actually winning, the rivalry game or winning the Big Ten. I think I forgot who it was who said, who was it? Who said he's lucky that there's a 12-team playoff now because it gives him a shot to try to redeem himself a little bit. But I'm on the get rid of Day bandwagon. I'm just done. This game was it for me. I mean, I was sort of one foot in the door, like I'm not totally trusting him type of thing, but I was starting to see some hope. Maybe he's starting to figure it out. Chris and I talked about it on a therapy session that he did some things that we thought that were positive and showed growth as a leader. And then he goes out and coaches the worst game of his life. So I say get rid of him, and I get a younger coach that actually. I'm not saying he has to be younger, but get a guy who's young who understands the game, the way the game is going today, as far as NIL and the outside the off the field stuff. So I say go get rid of Ryan Day. Whether you want to get rid of him after the playoff or get rid of him now, I don't think it makes a big difference because I don't think there's any way we're winning a natty with him.
Ryan Day's bad play calling. I love the name change, buddy. It took me a second to realize that's what you did. JR said they set a ton of money aside for the portal, so if they keep him after what has happened, are they seriously going to let him spend money again when he couldn't get it done with this roster? I guess. I mean, JR's got a few more sources that would be connected to the NIL collectives, so maybe he would know that. Um, I mean, I need to hear from Ryan Day, and thank you for the super chat. I need to hear from Ryan Day more than just this was a tough day. We'll go watch the film and reevaluate what happened.
This one hurts.
Yeah. Look who it is. Our buddy Mike Wargo. Always defended Ryan Day. I was lost when looking at his reaction to the fight. His mind was a million miles away and summed up the approach to the program from him. It's like a car that always breaks down when you need it the most. Time for a new coach. Great show as always. This is coming from a former Buckeye, guys. This is Mike Wargo, played for John Cooper. This is the Rudy of Ohio State telling us this. By the way, good to see you, Mike Wargo. Love you, buddy. That's how I feel. It's how I feel. Blue Wolverine with a $4.99 super chat could do what Michigan did to Harbaugh, cut his pay in half. Chris saying no. All right, Chris, go for it. All right, you got the ear of Ross Bjork. Go for it.
Ross Bjork, the time to fire Ryan Day is now. You've got, I know you've got to run at the college football playoff, but you know what? It's not happening. I have no faith in him, and honestly, this fan base is going to start to lose faith in you if you keep him on and let him continue to drag this program down the toilet. You're going to lose donors. You're going to lose all that high dollar money that is backing everything. You're going to lose the fan support that's paying into the NIL. The time to move on is now. You know what I say? And this is crazy, and I know you're going to react like I'm nuts, Eric. Get rid of him, Kelly, right now. Slide Brian Hartline over. Let's see what he can do for the year. Or knock Knowles up to head coach for the rest of the season and let Hartline run the offense. Because, or I don't care. Put Larry Johnson in there the rest of the year. He's undefeated as a head coach.
He actually is. He is. That's true.
This team, there is no toughness, no culture. It's got to stop. It has to stop. And that's why my cry has been for the last 3 years, we need a Buckeye as the head coach. We need somebody who can reinstill the winning culture.
Okay, but you guys haven't offered me anybody yet.
Luke Fickell.
Oh, you wanted names? I'm sorry.
Luke Fickell. He's a guy that, you know, a lot of people push back about Vrabel are saying that he doesn't want to recruit. Okay. Luke Fickell. He has a good relationship with Brian Hartline. He's got a good relationship with James Laurinaitis, who are both in there right now. I think you can keep those two guys on staff, which I think are the future of your staff.
Jackie says, no way.
He knows how to recruit.
Luke Fickell?
Luke Fickell can recruit.
3 stars.
You know what? Like I said earlier, 3 stars are hungry.
So
he did enough to get a group of 5 team.
I think
into the college football playoff.
You're approaching this way too emotionally right now. Listen, I'm the biggest Luke Fickell fan on the show, dude. You know that.
And he was screwed when he had the opportunity.
He absolutely was. I'm not saying he was screwed. He was screwed He was screwed when Gene Smith didn't have enough guts to even call him up for an interview. Not saying he would have been hired or he should have been hired over Ryan Day, but they didn't even give him the opportunity to interview for the job, which was a slap in the face to Luke Fickell. That I agree with 100%. But since he's gone to Wisconsin, give me anything he's done in Wisconsin that gives you any inkling of confidence that he would do better than Ryan Day has done. Go.
I don't think he could do any worse.
He already has 1 L under his belt to him.
I don't think he could do any worse. He's dealing with 3-star guys, like you said, at Wisconsin.
And losing.
Ohio State's brand, at least for the first few years, brings him in 4- and 5-star guys. The NIL brings him in 4- and 5-star guys. Then we can see what he can really do as a head coach.
I don't have confidence in Fick right now. I just don't. The thing about I don't think Vrabel wants it, and I don't want anybody that doesn't want it.
I agree with you 100%. He's not coming.
I would, you know, how I'd look at it, it probably wouldn't happen because he'd be leaving his alma mater, but it's still a much bigger opportunity. It'd be Kenny Dillingham from Arizona State.
I disagree with you, Corey, just because I don't want a guy who's not a Buckeye. I
All
think
right,
the
that's fair.
culture is broken at Ohio State.
I
Okay.
understand your
All
argument
right.
there. Yeah, I get it.
And now I'm
You're
going to mute my
you're both exactly right. You're both 100% right. Vrabel's an NFL guy. I've watched it 4 times today. There's an interview where he literally says what he hates about college football is recruiting. He hates it. He doesn't want to do it.
I
So
think his exact quote was, I don't want to kiss kids' butts," or whatever it
yeah,
was.
he there's a story about how this kid from Georgia came up to Ohio State for recruiting, and he knew the kid was going to go to Georgia, but he was doing the Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and he was like, he's like, why should I come here? The kid's never going to come here. I'm wasting my time. I left a movie with my family to come to open up the shoe to wave and say hi, welcome to Ohio State, to a kid who's never going to go here. Like that. That story alone tells me he's not in it for this. Like, he wants to do NFL, which is great. He's good at it. There's nothing wrong with that. Listen, so that's number 1 about him. I agree with both of you. It needs to be an Ohio guy. The problem with Ryan Day, and I went with this over with Johnny. Again, go watch the video tonight that Johnny and I put out. Yeah, Bobby Mack, this is a record tonight. And I understand. I knew it would be. We have a lot of people in the chat who are hate watching us. Congratulations, you all won the game. Take your victory lap. You deserved it.
because
And,
Ryan
by the way, let me say this to us Ohio State fans. This is going to sound so. I'm going to really ruffle feathers here, guys. Get ready. Our numbers might drop from Ohio State fans. We don't get to use Connor Stallions as an excuse anymore.
Absolutely right.
You don't get to use it. You blew that. You don't get to use that excuse anymore. Connor Stallions and the cheating and what they did doesn't matter anymore. I said this walking out of the stadium to my buddy Carl, who I went to the game with. I said, Carl, I don't care anymore what the NCAA does. I don't care. None of it matters to me anymore now. This was so bad. So embarrassing. It doesn't even matter anymore. So we don't get to use that as an excuse. What'd you say?
It matters
Johnny
to
old
me.
and happy.
I still want them to take their title just so I can laugh.
Why? Why?
Here's the thing. They disgraced college football. Ryan Day disgraced Ohio State yesterday.
Chris,
they disgraced college football.
It might what so it makes
as a big picture. I'm not talking as an Ohio State fan, as a big picture fan of college football. They disgraced the game and they should be punished for it.
Well, you and I can agree to disagree at this point because I don't have any desire at all. Who cares to me? You can do that video when it happens. To me, it's water in the bridge now. Oh yeah, let's go celebrate. Let's go celebrate the fact they took wins and took a championship away from a team who just demasculated you in front of your own fans and planted a flag on the 50-yard line that caused your players to get pepper sprayed because your head coach is that soft.
You know what, though? I'll bring up the name that Chris doesn't. He admitted earlier he'd even take him. I'll take Marcus Freeman then, if we're going to do it.
All right, we're getting there. Mastermind. Hey, they sponsor this show. Welcome, Nick Hickman. My boss is in the house.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
We're gonna get there. Nick's on. He's dancing over what I'm gonna get to here in a minute. Marcus Freeman. Chris, you said it earlier. I'm surprised you didn't go back to that
I would
well.
take him over Ryan Day, absolutely.
But not Fickle, huh?
The guy can't count to 11.
He can this year, as in 11 wins, man.
He is a Ohio State traitor, but at least he went there.
All right. Let me get back to where I was at. My gosh, 354 people on YouTube. That is an all-time record. Thank you, everybody who's watching, even those of you who hate our team. Hit the like button if you haven't already. We appreciate it. This is how this happens, guys. People get in there. They start hitting the like button. It hits the YouTube algorithm. It starts kicking it out to other people who like the same things you do, and that's how our channel grows. So we appreciate that.
Eric, before you
by
start,
all means, subscribe to the channel. It's free.
Can we address this?
Go for it.
Because they're right. The one thing I hate more than Michigan were the no class fans who were actually attacking verbally the families of the coaches. Hate the coaches if you want. Throw all the shade at them you want. They've earned it. They're big boys. They take paychecks. Anyone who is personally attacking, yelling obscene things at the families of these coaches should be banned from Ohio State sporting events for life. There is no place for that.
So, thank you. Here's where we're at, guys. Let me get my thoughts straight here. One of the issues that Ryan Day has ran into, I believe this with all my heart. I've thought about this all weekend long. I expressed this with Johnny today. I'm going to say it here tonight. Does Ryan Day understand the rivalry? The answer to that question is yes. He does. He does, Chris. Don't argue, Chris.
He just doesn't care.
No, he cares. Dude, he cares. He cares so much, I think he's in a deep depression. I really do. Here's the issue. Here's the problem. He does not know how to teach young people who aren't from Ohio what this game means. Give you an example. After the game yesterday, who was it that ripped the flag down?
Jack Sawyer.
Who's from where?
Pickerington.
In the state of?
Ohio.
Bingo. Jack Sawyer said, no, not on my watch. I'm not going to let this happen. Why? Because he's from Ohio. He gets it. He understands the rivalry. Ryan Day doesn't know how to teach that to somebody because it's not in his DNA. Does he understand the rivalry? Sure. But he wasn't born and raised into it. And so expressing that to these kids is left up to the young people who are on this team who are from Ohio, and there's not enough of them. That's the issue. Urban Meyer could do it. He could go out and pluck kids from Florida and Georgia and Texas and California. And when they got here, what did he do to them? He indoctrinated them. Black stripe, you're not a Buckeye. You have to earn it. And when we get every day at practice, you're staring at the countdown clock to that team. He's indoctrinating them. You're not allowed to wear the color blue here. You're not allowed to mention their name. And if you do, guess what? You're running. Like he's indoctrinating them, right? Ryan Day's not doing those things. He doesn't know how to do those things because he himself wasn't born into it. So I agree with both of you. It's important to get an Ohio guy. So that means you're going to have to go with a former player, or you're going to have to go with a former coach who was born and raised in this thing. Here's the problem with that. Where are they? Well, there's only 4 former players who have head coaching experience in college or the NFL right now.
Eddie George, Vrabel.
They are Luke Fickell, Mike Vrabel, Marcus Freeman, and Eddie George. Those are the 4. Here's the problem. Vrabel don't want it. Marcus Freeman's at Notre Dame. He ain't going to take it. They're not going to let him take it. And as Chris pointed out, he doesn't even want him because of what he said. Fick has proven, I don't know that he can do it. He's stunk up the joint in Madison bad. He might get fired, guys, next year. And Eddie George ain't ready. Look at his record down there. Has he been building the program up? Yeah. Is he the HBC, I think is what the league is that he's in? Is he the HBC Coach of the Year? Yes, he is. But he's not ready for Ohio State yet. So that means
Ryan
what?
Day. He's been
So
here
what does
6
that?
years.
Let me finish. Golly. So what does that mean? That means this. There's only one guy. Only one. It's Urban Meyer. You got to call Urban Meyer back up and you say to Urban Meyer, look, we know you don't I know you don't want to do this whole NIL thing and the transfer portal and all of this, but we're not ready yet. We don't have a guy who's ready yet. His name is Eddie George. He needs to get ready. You're going to make him ready. You're the head coach. Come in. We're going to give you a 2-year contract. Eddie, you're coming in and you're getting ready to take this team over in 2 years. That's my plan.
How do you think Heartline feels about that?
Do I care?
Do you care that your best recruiter is going to walk out the door? I think you should.
How do you know he's going to walk out the door? How do you know that him and Eddie George wouldn't be like, dude, this is awesome?
They might. They might. But Heartline's already been pushed to the back once. How long do you think you're going to take? He's a competitor. How long do you think he's going to take it?
How long is he going to take losing the team up north? He's a competitor. He's a Buckeye.
Yeah, but he doesn't need this, Eric.
Exactly. So why is he still here?
Well, probably because he was promised he was going to be an OC.
If he was promised he was going to be an OC, he would have walked already. Cory, you've been quiet, man. Go.
I think if you're going to do that plan, you do it the Heartline. I understand
Instead of George?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not knocking Eddie. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to Eddie coming back to Ohio State, but I agree he's not ready yet. And Heartline's certainly not ready, but I think you got the guy on staff already you can make ready to be the guy if you're going to do something like that. I'm not opposed. Yeah, 'cause I'm not opposed to the plan. I just would prefer it be with Heartline because I think Heartline's got that potential to be a program builder of a guy. Not that Ohio State needs to be built, but he can enhance it based on what he's been able to do. I mean, he's the only recruiter we have that doesn't even struggle recruiting, like to even keep guys and things like that. It's just like it blows my mind that like even Larry Johnson struggles to keep the guys he gets, or Justin Fry keeps whiffing on big time guys, or Tim Walton does pretty good, but he's going to lose Offord here in a second. So, and then you look at Heartline, he's studying to become a play caller, but Urban Meyer was never a play caller. He was never an offensive coordinator. He went from wide receiver coach to head coach at Bowling Green, and maybe you'd like Heartline to start off at a smaller school and work his way up, but we don't have time for that. What do you do? You have Urban Meyer for 5 to 10 years, or you have Ryan Day, keep him around for 5 to 10 years. That's not acceptable. So I think if you're going to do something like that, yeah, go get a guy like Urban and say, look, just 2 years, and then we're going to hardcore train Heartline to be the next guy, and he's just going to be attached to your hip on how to run a program, because obviously there's a lot more to it than just being a coordinator or something like that. And I just think Heartline also is a good guy who can schmooze like Jake Diebler with the boosters and the people who have money. He can also drive a lot more money into the program because of his youth and his experience understanding that today's college football landscape. Not to say Eddie couldn't do that. This is not a knock on Eddie at all. I just think he got the guy in house already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We appreciate all you Michigan fans in here taking a victory lap. Congratulations, you deserve it. Your team absolutely. You beat us. I don't know what else to say. There's nothing. There's. By the way, the title of the show was No More Excuses. There are none. Ohio State fans can just stop
absolutely.
making them. Just stop making them. There are none at this point. So just quit with that stuff. It makes us look bad. So take your victory lap, but in doing so, hit the thumbs up button. We appreciate that. While you all do that. No, I understand your guys' point. And a lot of you are saying, why would Urban do this? I believe, tell me I'm wrong if you guys think I'm wrong. I believe Urban was watching this game yesterday and he was seething on the sideline.
He's been seething for 4 years.
You know what gets to him? Is he's the guy that said to hire Day. I think he put this evil on Ohio State, and I think he would come back to take it off.
Chris. So now you're blaming Urban Meyer for this?
No, I'm saying that Urban might feel guilt over this.
Oh, he might. But listen, he didn't hold a gun to Gene Smith's head.
All he had to do was say the words. That's all it took.
He borderline retired it so they could keep Ryan Day.
That's true.
So he was afraid he was going to leave, and the program was afraid Ryan Day was going to leave. Yeah, he turned down the job at Mississippi State. Um,
Okay,
so
now I blame him.
just changed Chris's mind right there. But again, even people who knock Ryan Day now, and I'm talking like the people who coach with him, like Zach Smith and things like that, at the time, thought Ryan Day was elite. Like, wow, this dude has got a future. I don't think, and honest to God, in that first season, could you say that you weren't happy with the way Ryan Day was looking at the time? I mean, I know
First
it's Urban's players. I get
first
all that.
two seasons.
Exactly.
Even the COVID season, man. Like that's 2019, 2020. Yeah.
It looked like he had a huge future ahead of him, and now he's pissing down the side of his leg every time he gets in a big game.
I remember you, Chris, saying you came into this podcast saying there is the potential that Ryan Day becomes a dynasty type of coach.
I
I
did.
think, and
He had me fooled.
Chris, and by the way, everybody thought that. You're not the only one. You weren't like going on a limb there. Everybody, I thought, oh my gosh, we're going to win 4 titles with this guy. This guy's amazing.
Here's the thing. I think that Ryan Day is a tremendous offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
When he has nothing to worry about but calling plays on offense, he is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a certain type of guy to sit in the big chair. It takes a certain kind of mindset. It takes a certain kind of mental toughness, all of which I don't believe Ryan Day has.
Ryan Day is like, excuse me for getting political, I guess. He's like the advisor to the president, but he shouldn't be the president. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a great analogy.
Exactly. He's a dork. He's a nerd. He's a guy who is like X and O's freak.
He's the kid who drew up the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Awesome. Beautiful. Absolutely. He's a dork with glasses that had no business being there except for drawing up plays. And I know he played football. I get it. But that being said, he's just not I agree with Chris. He's just not the head guy. He's just not.
I read this comment and I immediately went to Star Wars, Chris. Urban Meyer, the only hope. Help us, Urban Meyer. You're our only hope. Are we going to send a hologram to him?
By the way, I love AJ Hawk. He's one of my all-time favorite players. He's not a
Me as well.
Do not make him head coach, for God's sake.
No way. No way. Not a chance in the world.
I'll tell you what. Maybe we should make Schleg's head coach because if nothing else, it'd be entertaining.
It would be. It would be fun.
I would not be against Schleg's being the strength and conditioning coach.
I'm not
Oh,
disagreeing
absolutely.
with you there. Yeah. I think Coach Mick's time has come and gone.
Yeah. No, listen. I don't think he gets fired. The only way I think Ryan Day is not the head coach at spring ball this upcoming April 2025 is if he steps down.
Couldn't we technically fire him for cause? I mean, he hasn't shown up to work at a big game in like how many tries now? 6 years worth.
Definition of a big game.
He owns Penn State. That's his claim to fame.
That's not a big game.
And Indiana.
I'm just saying that's his claim to fame.
Penn State and
the person who put Signetti in there, please. There's no. Just no.
Plus, Signetti's like
don't put that evil on us because I'm telling you that is not a sustainable path.
No.
Plus, he's like 63 or something like that. So it's like, I don't want to hire.
Hey, the guy from Central Michigan's looking for a job.
I think we should get PJ Fleck. No,
God, no.
He can't row the boats. Devin Burnham.
Are we going to see players hit the portal because of this? The answer to that is yes.
Yes.
Every year you're going to see guys hit the portal.
See recruits,
but it's not going to be any different than any other year. Exactly.
But you're going to see recruits that were at that game, I think, flip because of that game.
Oh, here's a good name. Dave, I agree. Connor Stallions, next head coach, Ohio State.
Make a mean spreadsheet, so I've seen.
He's doing great in high school.
So there's a situation here that we have to address now. So if he stays and he goes into 2025, and I talked about this with Johnny, it's not going to go well for Ohio State. I don't believe at all. Now, am I going to still root for Ohio State? Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Buckeye fan. Of course I am. Am I still going to be doing my podcast and talking about it? You betcha. What we do. But you're going to have a roster that is going to be turned over big time. You're losing almost your entire defense, except a handful of guys, if you can keep them. You're losing half your offense. And the schedule next year is increasingly difficult, including 5 away games in the Big Ten. You play Texas in the non-conference. I was looking at the schedule with the roster we have. I'm seeing 8-4, 9-3.
With a new quarterback, yep. By the way, another Ohio guy we can talk about. The name didn't get brought up to the chat. Matt Campbell. I can see Eric's in love with that idea.
He does
I
more
don't
with
know.
less.
I mean, he does pretty well at Iowa State, considering it's Iowa State. I mean, that's tough.
Agreed. There he is. Burks, congratulations. One of the few Michigan fans I like.
I would sooner never watch a football game again, Burks.
Yeah, I would go ahead and just stop taking any medication and just let my just go before that would happen. That would I would be I'm not going to say what I was about to say.
Burks, don't mistake. We love Ohio State.
Yeah.
I despise Ryan Day. And
Actually,
every day that goes by, I'm despising Bjork for not dealing with it.
It's actually because of the love we have for Ohio State, we want Ryan Day gone. And I see people in the chat saying, "Well, what about like when Nebraska fired Bo Pelini?" I'm sorry, you have to try to get better.
Yeah.
There's a standard at Ohio State that Ryan Day's not meeting. One of the basic standards is beating the team up north, and he can't do that. I mean, look, and again, you can go back to the last 3 games and make excuses if you want and stuff like that, but this is not 6-5, terrible in Columbus, and you score 10 points. You're getting worse. You're playing them worse than you even used to play them. You did better against their national title team with Honda McCord at quarterback than you did with this freaking $20 million roster at home against a 6-5 team who can't throw a forward pass.
I would take John Cooper over Ryan Day.
I'd take John Cooper right now over.
Yes.
Listen, there's no difference between John Cooper and Ryan Day.
There's not, except that you know going in you're going
person.
to lose the Michigan game.
They're the same person. They do everything exactly. Their players love them. They're good guys.
They are.
They run clean programs. They win most of their games. They both can recruit. Just can't win the one that matters. They're the same person. Mr. Leahy, $5 holler from the trailer park, scooting in here from Canada. Everyone says Mike Vrabel is the next choice. Thoughts? Who would be the next head coach? He's not, because he's not going to come to college. He would have to change his tune, big time, and I just don't see that happening. And who's the next head coach? I don't know, man. We just don't know. We're just throwing names out and talking about them. I don't know. I don't think Ross Bjork knows. I know this much. Chris and I did a video behind the paywall about who's on Ross Bjork's short list, right? Ross Bjork, in his 3 hires he has made as the athletic director of Ohio State, all 3 of them have one thing in common. They're all Ohio people. And he's mentioned in the press conference for all 3 of those people that the big reason he went with the hiring of those individuals is they understood the culture of the state of Ohio. It's one consistency. Girls softball, men's baseball, and the basketball team. Those were the 3 hires he had. And all 3 of them hired Ohio people.
So Matt
Campbell, they all except for Jake Diebler all had head coaching experience too. So 2 of the 3 had head coaching experience. Let's see. CGZ. Man, Eric, first time listener, just trolling to see some reactions. Respect. I have gained respect for Buckeye folk. You are a cool dude. As a fan and alumni, I will like and subscribe. Go Blue, Chris. Thanks, man. See, that wasn't too. Not all of us are bad people. Burks will tell you. Burks calls in our call-in show almost every week to talk about what's going on, man. So we're
Eric,
not all bad.
Bobby Mack's super chat. We
Yes.
didn't talk about that one.
Sorry. Let me get back to it. Do you have it available?
It's a Mount Union head coach.
I got you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I heard some back channel talks about Mount Union's coach. Any thoughts on this? Yes. Mount Union is Division III. It's not even Division I AA like Jim Tressel was. I think Matt Campbell was former Mount Union coach too.
He played for Mount Union.
He played for Mount Union.
Did he coach there though?
I'd check real quick.
He might have.
Do a quick Google search for me. I think he did.
Yeah, he did. He did. He was offensive coordinator, offensive line coach for 2005, 2006 for them.
Hasn't worked out terrible for Iowa State.
Yeah.
He's 63 and 50 according to Wikipedia right now. I don't know if it includes this year or not, but for Iowa State, and he's making $4 million a year. So
Mike G, what culture? That's a good question. I'm not gonna lie. I have notes for what we're going to cover this offseason, kind of breaking out some of the things we might do. One of the topics I have is, what is Ohio State's culture?
Right now, they don't have one.
And I definitely think if Campbell were the coach, we'd be a tougher program.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Hire DeBoer and get Milroe too.
No.
I don't want Milroe.
No. I will. That'll make me not be a Buckeye fan right there.
Ooh, okay. That's where you draw the line.
No, if you put Milroe on this team, I quit. I'm done.
Yeah, DeBoer we might be able to talk about. I don't know that I like him that much, but Milroe.
By the way,
although DeBoer is one of the guys who has a better winning percentage actively, is it the better winning percentage against top 10 opponents than Ryan Day?
Yeah, he just can't beat Vanderbilt.
He and Kirby Smart are the two with better winning percentages.
I'd say in DeBoer, by the way, he wouldn't bring Milroe. He'd be happy to get away from him. So.
Yeah, he doesn't want him.
No. So let me address this one because I'm about ready to make Chris's head explode. Here we go. Watch. You guys are going to love this. We could get Prime.
Hell no. No. The guy is a freaking joke. He's a sideshow attraction. He is a gimmick. He is not a coach. He is a fool who played football, and somebody thought it'd be a good idea to make him a head coach somewhere.
Does he have any more sons that can play quarterback?
There is a connection to Ohio State. I know it too. I've shared it on the show before. But tonight's not
joke, a sideshow freak. That's it.
Mr. Leahy with another $5 holler. Man, times must be good there in Sunnyvale. Two $5 super chats. My biggest question is, how do we restore the toughness we had in years past? It starts at the head, at the top.
We bring Julian down to coach.
It starts at the top and it comes down. I've said this 100 times on this show. The team will reflect who the head man is. The team always reflects the head coach in everything, their approach, their demeanor, their attitude. And yesterday was evident of that, right? You want to know why Michigan won that football game? Look at Sharon Moore and then look at Ryan Day. Is Sharon Moore a better offensive coach than Ryan Day? No. Is he a tougher coach than Ryan Day? Yep. 100%.
And can I make this argument as well?
Cory, you don't agree with that?
I think in support of what you're saying, Eric, I also think that Moore's players believe in him. I don't think Ryan Day can say the same thing.
That might be true. I don't think Moore is necessarily a tougher coach. I don't think toughness was the biggest issue yesterday. I do think Day crapped the bed for sure. I don't know. Moore didn't coach a great game. Michigan didn't play a good game. So I don't know. I just think we handed it to him. I will say this: Jim Harbaugh, much better coach than Ryan Day. I think that. But that being, Sharon Moore hadn't proven anything to me yet. They didn't. They played a crap game as well.
Yeah. Greg Schiano's no. No. Thank you, David, but no.
All right, I gotta Ken, for crying out loud, we lost to the team up north again. I mean, I don't understand what's hard to understand about this one.
What
Jeff
about
Halfley?
Jeff Halfley? He on his way out of Boston College basically said he hates coaching college
He
football.
ain't gonna come back to college coach. No,
Yeah.
So-
he's gonna coach in the NFL next. What are you gonna do?
Well, he's
Yeah.
at Green Bay, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Packers fan. He's doing great for the defense. He's gonna be a head coach in the NFL at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.